Some people don't stab you in the back. They drain you slowly, not with one big betrayal you can clearly see, but with 1,000 tiny cuts you barely notice at first. A careless comment here, an undermining smile there, a subtle shift in tone that makes you feel like you've done something wrong, even when you haven't. Over time, these moments pile up until one day you wake up and realize something strange. Your joy is quieter. Your laughter doesn't come as easily. That natural spark you had, the one that made you feel alive, is now dim, and you don't even remember when it started fading. Carl Jung understood this kind of hidden damage. He knew that not all wounds scream, some whisper. They live under polite exchanges and normal-seeming relationships. They hide behind smiles that never quite reach the eyes. They mask themselves in what looks like care but feels like control. And the people who cause them, they often walk away untouched, their hands looking clean. That's the tricky thing about toxic people. They aren't always the obvious villains you see in movies. They don't always raise their voices or slam doors. They can be charming, generous, even loving, at least when it serves them. Jung taught that every human being carries both light and shadow inside them. The light is our kindness, our honesty, our ability to connect. The shadow is our jealousy, our insecurities, our hidden wounds. Healthy people know they have both, and they face their shadow with honesty. They work on it. They try not to let it spill over and harm others. But toxic people, they run from their shadow. They refuse to see it. And because they can't own it, they throw it onto everyone else. They project it, and if you're not careful, you end up carrying feelings that aren't even yours. Guilt, shame, doubt. Like a heavy coat you never asked to wear. If you've ever been around someone who leaves you exhausted after every interaction, you know exactly what I mean. You start questioning your own judgment. You apologize for things you didn't do. You edit yourself before speaking because you know they'll twist your words. You feel like you're walking on a floor full of invisible glass, afraid you'll cut yourself with the wrong step. Jung believed that the first step toward freedom is awareness. When you name the poison, you take away some of its power. And here's the truth. Refusing to drink that poison is not cruelty. It's not selfishness. It's self-respect. You can care about someone and still decide that you won't let them hurt you. You can have empathy without sacrificing your well-being. Boundaries are not walls to keep love out. They are doors, doors you control, doors you can open to respect and close to harm. And yes, those doors might shut out people you thought would always be in your life. That's part of the journey. There's a moment from Jung's own life that reflects this truth. When he ended his partnership with Sigmund Freud, a man he once admired deeply, it wasn't just a professional split, it was personal. Their relationship had been close, almost like father and son. But over time, Jung felt suffocated by Freud's unwillingness to explore beyond his own theories. It became clear that staying in that relationship meant shrinking his own voice, and so Jung walked away. The fallout was harsh. He was criticized. Rumors spread. Colleagues distanced themselves. He could have fought to defend his name, to win back the approval he'd lost, but he didn't. Instead, he turned inward. He researched. He explored his own dreams, his own unconscious mind, and in that solitude he created some of his most groundbreaking work. He didn't waste his life swimming against the current of toxic disapproval. He built his own river and let it carry him forward. That's the lesson. You don't have to prove your worth to someone who benefits from you feeling small. You don't need to get tangled in their version of the truth. You don't need to win their acceptance. Step back, observe, see them for who they are, and see yourself for who you can become without grip on your spirit. Sometimes that means walking away completely. Other times it means keeping the relationship but changing the rules. It might mean polite but distant interactions. It might mean limiting what you share with them, especially your dreams and plans, because you know they'll only pour doubt over them. Distance is not cruelty. It's clarity. It's choosing peace over chaos. Jung wrote about individuation, the process of becoming your truest self. And here's something important. You cannot become that self if you are constantly carrying the weight of someone else's insecurities. Your life is not a stage for their drama. Your mind is not a battlefield for their unresolved pain. Yes, they might call you selfish when you set boundaries. They might accuse you of changing. They might even try to guilt you into coming back to the way things were. But remember this, Growth will always look like betrayal to those who only benefit from your stagnation. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to convince them you're a good person. You don't have to fix them. Your task is simpler, but harder. Protect the space where your peace lives. Guard it like it's sacred, because it is. At first, this will feel strange, maybe even lonely. You've gotten used to the noise of their presence, even if it was destructive, without it. But you might feel a quiet emptiness. But here's what will happen: that emptiness will start to feel like breathing room. The air will get lighter. The constant tightness in your chest will loosen, and in that space something beautiful will return. Your own voice. You'll start laughing again, and it won't feel forced. You'll meet people who bring out the best in you. Conversations will leave you energized instead of drained. You'll realize the problem was never that you were too sensitive or too much. The problem was that you were in the wrong environment. And once you see that, everything changes. You stop accepting crumbs of kindness from those who never truly feed your soul. You stop waiting for apologies that will never come. You stop holding your breath around people who make you feel like love has to be earned by enduring pain. Dealing wisely with toxic people teaches you your own worth in a way nothing else can. It forces you to look at the parts of yourself you've abandoned in order to keep the peace. It reminds you that peace without respect is not peace at all. It's quiet control. Carl Jung's wisdom isn't just for scholars or psychologists. It's for anyone who has ever felt trapped in the shadow of someone else's darkness. It's for you if you've been the quiet listener to endless complaints, the forgiver of repeated betrayals, the carrier of someone else's storms. If you're listening to this, maybe you've already felt that moment. The one where your body tells you before your mind catches up. The racing heartbeat, the shallow breath, the knot in your stomach. These are not weaknesses. They are signals. They are your inner self whispering, pay attention. You are not safe here. When you honor those signals, you begin to reclaim your power. You begin to understand that you are allowed to walk away, even if it breaks the illusion of harmony. You are allowed to be happy without their permission. You are allowed to choose yourself. And choosing yourself is not the same as abandoning others. It's refusing to abandon yourself for them. It's making sure that when you give from a full cup, not a broken one. If you've been carrying the weight of someone's poison, this is your moment to put it down. Walk away if you must. Step back if you can. Change the rules if you have to. But whatever you do, don't let them decide the size of your spirit. One day, you'll look back and realize the person you were when they had influence over you is gone, and you'll be grateful. Because now you'll see that your energy is your most precious currency. You'll spend it on people who see you, who value you, who lift you higher. And maybe, just maybe, you'll notice something else. The storm you thought was inside you was never yours, it was always theirs. And when you stepped away, you finally saw the sun. So tonight, take a quiet moment. Ask yourself who drains you, who fills you, and be brave enough to choose more of the latter. Your energy is priceless. Spend it where it grows, not where it dies. If this spoke to you, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if you want to keep exploring these kinds of ideas, subscribe and join